I forgot. Here's this month's grocery money.
Saying that, my husband Stanley slammed down $100. Groceries for a family of 3 on just $100 a month? That's nowhere near enough.
If we are short, you guys should earn more.
He was giving me a cold stare as he said that. There was no persuading him further. I'm Janet, 27 years old. I live with my husband Stanley and daughter Anne. I met Stanley during college, and we started dating 6 months later. My mom passed away when I was in elementary school, so I was raised in a single-parent home by my dad. I've always faced some prejudices, and I've never had a fiancé.
People don't want to marry someone from a single-parent home. Can you even properly raise a child?
I've heard such whispers from ex-boyfriends, but Stanley was different.
Your dad must be an incredible man to raise a wonderful woman like you.
His words brought tears to my eyes. I was sure he would always be on my side. After graduation, we both started working at my father's company. 3 years into our careers, we decided to get married. Me, raised by a single dad who was always anxious, and my dad wanted Stanley to take over the family business. And so, our married life began. We had a baby within the first 6 months. Afterwards, I quit my job at my father's company. I want to build a happy family surrounded by children. I was living my dream, never imagining that having a child would start a nightmare. One evening,
Hey, are you messing with me? Serving such awful food. Make it again.
I was shocked and started crying. I tried to calm him down, keeping him from directing his anger at our infant daughter Anne. I'm sorry, but this is takeout, you know? It's good, isn't it?
Don't talk back. And that's just being lazy. Do your household and parenting duties like you're supposed to.
Please, don't take it out on me.
Why are you even my wife? If you can cook a decent meal, you are useless.
He spat out those words and locked himself in his room. Why did things turn out like this? The kind Stanley I knew was nowhere to be found, like a different person. I realized that he had started changing gradually since our daughter was born. He would get irritated about everything.
A useless woman who can't even earn money. Can't you even handle being a stay-at-home mom? That's why single-parent household.
He looked down on me, getting angry and raising his voice over anything he disliked. He would ignore or be absent-minded when I talked about work. He wanted me to be a stay-at-home mom and take care of the house, but he seems to enjoy having control over me. His actions became increasingly tyrannical. Despite my disgust, knowing the struggles of a single parent, I couldn't consider divorce. It was for my daughter's sake also. Stanley seems to be doing well at the company. I occasionally talk to my dad over the phone, getting his advice. But looking at a photo of my mom and me as a child, I often sighed, wishing I could talk to my mom. 3 years later,
I forgot. Here's this month's grocery money.
Saying that, my husband Stanley slammed down $100. Groceries for a family of 3 on just $100 a month? That's nowhere near enough. Where's the rest of the money?
It's your job as a stay-at-home mom to manage and make do with it. You're always home. Use that idle brain to figure something out.
Don't be ridiculous. Let me handle the finances.
I have social obligations, so no way. It's basically just you and the kid. So $100 should be easy, right?
That's just... With that, he left the room.
Your dad must be a really great man to have raised a woman as wonderful as you.
Where did that Stanley go? Or is this a real him? I've often thought about running away, but I couldn't do it, thinking of my daughter. The hardship of raising a child alone. Oh, if only Mom were here. I considered divorce several times, but my desire not to burden my daughter with being from a single-parent home always won. But I wasn't just passively accepting my situation. I repeatedly asked for more grocery money and secretly looked for work-from-home jobs and other employment. But with only $100 a month for groceries, I couldn't provide my daughter with proper meals. I was using my savings to supplement our grocery budget, but those savings were running out. I tried my best to provide nutritious meals for my daughter, but I couldn't keep up the impossible budget, and my health started to fail. Who would take care of my daughter if I collapsed? I thought. Maybe I should ask my dad for help. So I decided to call him. After our talk, I felt relieved and fell asleep deeply on the sofa. When I woke up, the first thing I saw was my daughter's sleeping face, tear-streaked. "Grandpa, Mom is awake!"
Thank goodness. That's a relief.
Next, my tearful dad peered in. Confused, I stared at his face for a while.
Janet, I was so worried.
"Dad, where am I?"
You're in the hospital. To think, collapsing from malnutrition in this day and age. What happened?
He choked up, holding back tears. He might have been crying the whole time I was asleep. He has always been a bit of a crybaby. "I'm sorry for worrying you. But why are you here, Dad? What about work?"
Don't you remember? You called me, asking for help. When I called back, Anne answered and told me you had collapsed. So I rushed over and called an ambulance.
With that, my dad gently stroked my daughter's head. "Thanks, sweetie. You saved me by telling Grandpa." "I'm glad you're okay." She smiled proudly at my dad's praise. I never realized she had grown up to be so responsible. Maybe it's a case of learning from negative examples. While I was lost in thought, my dad asked worriedly,
You have become so thin. What's been happening? Haven't you been eating properly?
I tried to dodge the question, but gave in under this serious gaze. I opened up about everything with Stanley.
So, that's what Stanley has been doing.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me everything?
I didn't want to upset you, Dad. You were so happy about our marriage, and I just... My voice broke into tears, and my dad, holding my hand, was trembling with emotion as well.
Janet, it hurts me more when you don't tell me these things.
Hearing that, my tears flowed freely. Dad, I'm sorry.
There's nothing to apologize for. I'm always on your side, no matter what. You can tell me anything, okay?
Yeah. I wondered why I had endured so much. If I had consulted my dad sooner, maybe my daughter and I wouldn't have suffered so much. In my desire not to worry her and my dad, I had lost sight of what was important. A daughter growing up in a home without laughter or kind words couldn't be happy. Seeing the change in me, my dad said he would make a phone call and stepped outside the room. After a while, He returned, and we talked for about an hour. Then, Stanley arrived at the hospital.
Hey, don't call my workplace with such nonsense.
He entered the room angrily, but changed his demeanor when he saw my dad.
Oh, sir.
On the other hand, my dad remained calm, despite Stanley's typically unseen rough behavior.
This is a hospital. Don't raise your voice. You will disturb others. But the reception at work got a call saying Janet got admitted, and it was just for malnutrition. I was the one who made that call. Is there a problem? You made the call? You embarrassed me in front of my colleagues to get a call for such a trivial thing. It was humiliating. Humiliating, huh? Compared to what you have done to my daughter, isn't that trivial?
Stanley grew more agitated in front of my composed dad.
Janet, what have you been blabbering about? Family matters should stay within the family.
My dad protectively held my startled daughter as to shield her from the outburst, but Stanley was unconcerned. He probably didn't even notice. This time, he approached me aggressively, but I remained calm, perhaps because my dad and daughter were by my side. I confronted him with surprising firmness. What? Going to raise your hand at me?
Whoa, getting bold today, aren't we? That sassy attitude.
Before I could retort, my dad stepped in, confronting him.
Stanley, before you yell at my daughter, don't you have something to say to me? What do you mean?
He looked puzzled. My dad, visibly angry, but still calm, continued.
I pay you a fair salary, yet you don't feed my daughter. Why is that? Where's the money going?
Stanley fell silent, but then,
what's there to be angry about? This is just discipline. No problem at all. By the way, when will the position of president be available? I'm ready to take over any time. What?
My dad was speechless at his absurd outburst.
Why are you surprised? As the husband of the president's daughter, it's only natural I take over, right? With someone as capable as me, this small company will grow tremendously. I should be handed the presidency right away.
He continued with nonsensical remarks. Seeing my dad at loss for words, I confronted my husband. If someone like you became president, the company would go bankrupt in no time.
What did you say?
Just as he was about to lash out at me, my dad grabbed his arm.
You are fired. Effective immediately. What? Didn't you hear me? You are fired. A person like you will ruin the company. In expecting to be handed the presidency? Stop with your nonsense already.
Stanley, who was scolded fiercely by my dad for the first time, stood there with his mouth agape. I seized the moment to deliver the final blow. Let's get a divorce. I can't stand being with you anymore. It's bad for our daughter, and I don't want to burden my dad any further. Hearing my declaration of divorce, he retorted.
What? If I can become president, what's the point of being married to someone like you?
Excuse me?
Your only appeal was being the boss's daughter. I married you because I wanted to be the successor.
I was stunned by his unbelievable statement. I had thought he had changed, but perhaps he was always like this. Then, my dad opened the door and said,
Please come in.
Stanley's parents entered the room.
Mom, Dad too? Why are you here?
He became visibly flustered. My in-laws gave me apologetic looks. I assured them, "It's not your fault," and seated them. They began scolding Stanley, who was red-faced.
We came as soon as we got the call. We have been listening outside. What are you doing to your wife and child? We disown you as our son. What?
Then my daughter handed the divorce agreement to my mother-in-law. "Here you go." She knew it was in my bag.
What?
"This is perfect." She took the divorce papers and said, "Please divorce him. We'll take care of the alimony and child support. We'll make sure he pays." Stanley was made to sign, and then taken away by his parents. Later, the discussions for alimony and child support were held at the lawyer's office, recommended by my in-laws. Stanley was subdued throughout. We agreed that he would pay a lump sum from his savings for alimony and child support. "Goodbye then. Take care." I said farewell to him and left the lawyer's office. A year later, I started working part-time at my father's company.
You're more competent than that man. It's a big help having you here.
He suggested I think about the future, so I decided to work only while my daughter was in daycare. I became so efficient with the accounting that people joked, "Janet is the next president."
That's my daughter. Maybe we should do that.
But I always responded with a smile. Then I'd have less time with my daughter. Later, I had a matchmaking meeting with the son of a client. His father, my dad's close friend, promised to protect me, saying,
If my son does anything wrong, tell me. I will always defend her.
He was a very nice person, and I'm actually considering marriage. I don't know what happened to Stanley. My daughter is fond of her former grandparents, so we occasionally meet them, but they avoid mentioning Stanley. I'm truly surrounded by wonderful people, a result of my father raising me single-handedly. My mom in the photo in the room seems to have a bigger smile these days. I'm determined to cherish my family and live happily with my daughter. "Mom, seconds please." "Wow." My daughter happily eats her meal. I vow to never let her suffer as I did.